show, and we talk about anything to do with real estate, from how to improve the looks of your house, how to repair your house, who you should hire for a plumber or a roofer, things like that. All aspects of not just real estate, but real estate, finance, insurance. We talk about all that on this show. Today I've invited a guest on who knows an awful lot about, it's a mystery to most of us, but reverse mortgages. Our guest is Dennis Keithley. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you, Mike and Valleyites.
Do you feel like reverse mortgages are a mystery to a lot of people?
They really are. The biggest thing is the misconceptions and a lot of things that they've heard, Mike. For the amount of years, 11 years I've been doing it, and the 30 years that it's been around, the current FHA, there's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of people have, there's some, Clovis in Chicago, or Clovis in Clovis, they really don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
And constantly educating the public, realtors, financial planners, in-home care providers, state planners, etc. So it's an ongoing, and we get the same questions over and over. There's about 5 or 6 typical questions that people always hit us up with, Mike.
What types of things are people asking?
Well, the biggest thing is they always think, well, gee, Dennis, hey, Mike, I don't own my home. The bank owns my home,
Yeah.
which is very far from the truth. Or they take it away from me. That's definitely not true. Or I'm not on title. You're on title. You and your significant other is on title. Some people think well, I'm going to get it as a loan of last resort. That's the worst thing you want to do. You want to do it early if it's applicable. And a lot of people think, well, gee, you guys that do reverse mortgage are taking advantage of seniors. That's very far from it. There are a lot of protections. That's why I like it, that are, we're protected species or endangered species. So there are certain hoops that we have to do versus a normal standard mortgage. And a lot of people think, well, Mike, I have to make payments. You can make a payment if you don't, but you really don't have to. Or some people think, well, I have to leave the home before I pass away. Far from the truth. And last is, heirs have to pay back the loan, and which is not true. The FHA insured product ensures that if you're upside down, the FHA insurance pays for it, so the heirs, the estate, the other people do not have to pay for it. So, there are a lot of protections, a lot of things that we discuss, and, a lot of people are not quite sure how it sort of works.
Well, if I wanted to know about it, I'd go to somebody who's been at it, in it for over a decade, like Dennis, right?
Right, yes, sir.
And I don't mean to put anybody else down, but there's a lot of kids out pitching a lot of stuff, trying to get people to sign documents. And this isn't something you just want to jump into fast. You want to know all the facts. And I would want to talk to someone like you who's done many, many of them for, like I said, over a decade, I think.
Right, exactly. And really, we're more of consultants. We're not salespeople. When we sit down with people, just put your checkbook away, put your credit card away, Mike or client, what have you heard about it? What do you know about it? Do you have a mortgage now? If you don't have to make a mortgage payment, what does that allow you to do that you can't do today? What is your neighbor? What have they said about it? What have you read about it? Besides yourself, Mike, who else makes decisions in the process? So first time is basically meet and greet. Like an old mentor of ours. It's basically you're sitting down at a coffee table, having a conversation. Because I want to learn about you. You want to learn about me. The key thing, if it's right for you, super. If not, that's okay too. The key is that you've been educated, we give you factual, up-to-date information, and based upon that, you can decide to do it or not do it.
Yeah.
We're not going to go for the throat, toss you, like a calf or a cow, a bull rider or something like that. So, we're not going to hog tie you.
A friend of mine asked me to ask you a question. I should have asked you in advance so you could be ready, but she is 65, say, and she's getting her Social Security, about $1,700 a month, and
Hmm.
her house, maybe she has 200,000 in equity, but her
Okay.
house payment right now is $1,000 a month. So out of her Social Security check, you know, 1,000 out of 1,700. What would someone like that? Uh, what would their options be?
Oh, first of all, again, Mike, want to understand how it works. We want to describe it to them. And then the other question to ask, if you didn't have $1,000 monthly payment, how would that improve your quality of your life?
Yeah.
And then we just go through, just the steps and so on. It's a multi-step process.
Mm.
And I want them to ask questions.
Right.
So one is you qualify the FHA, the normal one that we're doing here in the Valley. At least one person has to be at least 62. So she qualifies being 65. She has equity. That's another important factor. They need to have probably 60, 70% equity. Years ago, when interest rates are low, maybe 50%. She owns the home, and as long as it's in good shape, if she wants to move forward, and then we would do a proposal for her. So that'd be like a multi-step process on that, Mike. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. It creates more questions, but that's good. That's where it should start. Ask
Absolutely.
more and more questions to start getting an understanding. So it's possible for some people, even though they have a payment now of say 1,000 a month, they might end up with no payment after this.
That is correct. That's the beauty of it, is that with the reverse mortgage, it's an FHA product, also called a HECM or home equity conversion mortgage. We pay off any mortgages, could be a first mortgage, a home equity line of credit.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, there are no mortgage payments ever that you have to make.
Wow.
You can make a payment if you want, but you don't have to. Now, since we're basically paying you money, so what you owe grows on a monthly basis. So I want to be sure people understand it because it's still a mortgage.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. Still your home. The caveat is like a normal mortgage, pay your taxes, pay your homeowner's insurance, take care of your home just like a normal mortgage. So if you do that, you can live up to 150 years old or in the
Nice.
home, or as we call it, age in place. That's the beauty of it because a lot of seniors, they want to stay in their home, the neighborhood they're familiar with, the neighbors, and growing up on the ranch in Easton, we'd have the little marks
Yeah.
there in
Yeah.
the closet or the pantry, how tall you were at 5 years old and 6 years. So a lot of memories are in that home. And so we want to enhance that and stay in that home and provide money if there's money there, maybe make some modifications for the home
Yeah.
if they have some issues, or maybe update in the AC,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or the roof goes out.
Some other kind of maintenance. There's always some maintenance after that many
Oh,
years.
yeah, exactly. And the whole idea is that most of the people get the adjustable that has a line of credit with it. That line of credit grows
Right.
over time. Currently, if you add everything in, it's roughly about 8%. And, if you have $100,000 in 9 years, it becomes $200,000.
Wow. Yeah.
So it really grows quite rapidly. But it's there to use as you want. It's your own money.
Great. Now, what about somebody also, they're that age and they've built some debt, maybe some credit card debt that's 20% or 30%, and maybe they have a car payment with, 15% or something like that. That's why they need to talk to you. Maybe there's a way to smooth all that out.
Exactly. That's a couple of reasons, why someone would look or consider reverse mortgage. I had down one is, debt. Most Americans now that retire have debt.
Right.
And it could be consumer debt, it could be car debt, like you mentioned. It could be student debt. Maybe they picked up, paying for their grandchild's college or even their college. A lot of seniors also going back to school
Yeah.
to work on a degree or something. So yeah, we would look at that. And in fact, one person I was talking to, they had about $50,000 in credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the situation, we can get them $25,000, and then we could suggest, credit counselors or, ideas on how to bring that down. But like I said before, pay down the credit card debt, also have no mortgage payment, so we could be saving people maybe up to a couple $1,000s or more a month,
Yeah. Nice.
and then they aren't stressed.
Yeah, what a difference that would make in someone's life. Now, let me get you just kind of touch on something. And I'm sorry, I'm asking all the questions. I want you to come on so you could tell us some stuff, but I have these questions. You made it sound like in California, seniors are protected. So I think
Correct.
people are afraid to do this, but you're saying seniors are protected.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I like it and go into, like the multi-step process. If the people want to go forward, the next step is going to be counseling. So they actually talk to a third party, non-affiliated party that's not affiliated with the lenders or servicers that do your loan.
And that's
They would,
required by the state,
it's actually nationwide. So
nationwide.
all
Okay.
states require it. So they want to be sure, hey, Mike, do you understand how it works?
Right.
Are you be taking advantage of? Is your granddaughter or someone have this get quick rich scheme,
Yeah.
or is insurance salesman is selling an annuity? They want to be sure you're clear of mind,
Hmm.
that you know exactly is look at your options, because we'll go over options. If you don't do this, you can try to qualify a line of credit, may not qualify for it,
Right.
refinance, stuff like that. So then once it's completed, the counselor assign his or her name to it, send it back to the couple or the person, they sign it back. So that's on record.
Nice.
Both the recording of that counseling session as well as the paperwork. So 10, 20 years from now, the kids go back to, Dennis, you took advantage of
Yep.
my parents.
No.
And no, and the same thing with a financial advisor. So it's what we call a fiduciary, situation where we want to be sure it's right for that person.
One last question for me, anyway, is that it sounds like you don't have to take all your equity this way, that maybe they give you a line of credit against your equity. So if you wanted to leave as much there for your kids, but you still wanted to take care of yourself, you just use it as you need it. Is that right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other beauty of it. You can use it when and if needed. The Most of like 95% of people use the adjustable or variable, which includes a line of credit, and that grows tax-free, irregardless of the market. Housing prices go down,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't impact you. The lender or servicer can't freeze it, they can't take it away from you. Homes go from $500,000 to $100,000, doesn't make any difference. So it's there, and when you do access it, it's tax-free money,
Tax-free money.
right?
If you
And
need
I'm not a
$100,000, you could take it. It's tax-free. Wow.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, one more thought is this. So, I can't tell how many people I've heard say this to me, Mike. I don't think I could afford to live more than X number of years because I'm going to run out of money. But does your equity on your home keep growing because of the market, and so you're going to have more to draw on?
Yeah, that is correct. Again, we would have to take a look at it. Nothing is
Yeah.
guaranteed. One of the reasons why a person should consider it is in the last 4 years here in Fresno, basically home equity has gone up about $100,000.
Yeah.
So, we use 4% as a rule of thumb about how uh, much your home will be growing,
Yeah.
and so that's tied in. So uh, it's going to keep going there for you. You can tie in. You can also get monthly payments like an annuity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing is that basically improves cash flow.
Right.
And it's a safe, secure, and the other thing too is that in some instances too, if you're with a financial planner, we can show that actually the person that uses this early in life actually increases what the value of their estate.
Yeah.
So it
Mm.
actually grows, so it really doesn't take away from it. So it
Okay.
enhances it.
Very good.
And then, by the way, we also have a purchase program. So what we've seen sometimes is the grandparents or parent will help get the money in line of credit to put as a down payment for their child or grandchild's home.
Mm.
So it's like a living legacy. They can
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
and enjoy this. Hey, Mike, you did this for me and for my
Right.
kids or my grandkids. So that sort of like makes you feel good inside.
Really. Yeah. I see the biggest stumbling block for young people who want to buy homes is just getting through that down payment process. And if a grandparent could do that, you set that kid up for life. They'll be getting a reverse mortgage in 30 or 40 years, and you would have set them up for that. Dennis, they're signaling me we're running out of time. I could talk to you for hours on this because it's fascinating. But let me ask you this: a senior or a person who qualifies or doesn't yet qualify wants to talk to you, what do you charge just to talk to them?
I'm free. I'm a free consultant. In fact, I encourage anyone at least to take a look at it.
Yeah, it's free to ask, so why not?
Yeah, it's free. And again, I want to give you updated information. Because like a lot of stuff I talked before about the myths and so on are like 60 years old. It's a lot has changed. People on TV. Actually, I work for the Tom Selleck company down in Southern California, and a previous spokesperson. His mom had a reverse mortgage, and I knew the loan officer that spoke to him, and he grilled this guy.
Yeah.
And he's a lawyer, the senator, and was running for president. So, but a lot of people don't talk about that. And my former business partner, he had a reverse mortgage in his home down in Irvine, California.
Wow. Any other thoughts? Anything we didn't touch on that you want our viewers to know?
No, I think you hit the key points, Mike. Just talk to a professional where it's me. I don't have to be exclusive. Just find out what the options are. If you're going to buy or resell in a couple of years, I don't want to do it for you. If someone's a spendthrift, I'm going to be extremely careful. I may not want to do it for you. I want to be sure it's right.
Okay.
And everyone is involved, so the whole decision process is like a whole joint group, to make the decision. So just give me a shout. I want to discuss it for you, answer your questions. Or if you know someone that has it, I work with some of the title people. They'll get have a question on a statement they get. Again, it's all free. I'm here to offer.
It's free to find out. I always say it's free to find out. Contact Dennis Keithley. I have his web address right there, which I love, reverseyourthinking.mortgage.
Correct.
And if you're old like me, trust me, that's a real web address. Everybody wants to see .com, but .mortgage is another thing they put at the end now. Reverseyourthinking.mortgage.
Right. In addition, I'm a third-generation farmer, technically. So my family's been here in the valley for over 100 years. And we were 100 years plus with Sun-Maid raisin, so we're raisin growers. So my tentacles have been in the valley and our family for quite a few years.
Well, Dennis, I really appreciate this information and clearing up some of the misunderstandings and myths around reverse mortgage. It's a real deal. It's meant to help people. It's really, really safe. You're protected by all these rules. And be sure you contact somebody who's been at it for a few years, like Dennis Keithley.
Just a couple days.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dennis. And we'll be back with more Central Valley Talk, real estate and home improvement right after this.